Next question says the height of tide on April 1st at this beach is given by this amount. We're looking for T is the time in hours. We want the range, the period, the height at 6 p.m. We want to sketch the graph after midnight to the nearest minute. When does it first reach 2.5? Find the times to the nearest minute where the next two tides after midnight. Boats can only leave the home when it's greater than 3 meters. Find the times where they can leave in this 24-hour period. Okay, so given we've got all of this, we should be able to see the range, the period. We should be able to see as well. Then a few other things we've got to work out. So my advice would be to define this thing and then work through it from there. So looking at this, the range, we are starting at 2. We're going to go up 1.2, so it's 3.2. We're going to go down 1.2, so that's 0.8. So our range should be 0.8 to 3.2. Period, we'll do 2 pi over 8, and we'll work all that stuff out. So let's go to CAS. Let's close this. We don't need it anymore. New question, new thing. So first thing we'll define h of x equals 1.2 sine open bracket pi times x over 8. And we're going to close the bracket and say plus 2, and we are defining that over a domain of 0 to 24 hours. That's what it tells us. It doesn't tell us immediately, but that's what we're interested in. So 0 is less than x, which is also less than, every time I want to swear, which is also less than 24. Alright, so that's what we've got there. So just check it, h of x. That's what we've got there. So let's say, so we want to find the period. So we'll say we've got a fraction. Divide that by, so we're going to say 2 pi divided by, because we've got a fraction, pi over 8. That's why I'm putting it in there. So our thing ends up being 16. So it's 2 pi over n, coefficient, pi over 8. So that's what we end up for there. So our period is 16, and we'd say it's 16 hours. Our range, like I said before, we're going from 2. So it's, so open bracket, no, sorry. So let's say it's 2 plus 1.2, 2 plus 1.2, 3.2, 2 minus 1.2, 0.8. So our range, we'd write down like this, 0.8, 3.2. That's where we'd write that down. Okay, so that's done. Now, the next thing we're going to do, find the height at 6 a.m. So this tells us it's hours after midnight. So 6 a.m. is how many hours after midnight? It's 6. So what we do is we say h, whoops, press control, h of 6. What's going on? No, right, 6 doesn't work. 2.84 meters. So they say I want to 1 decimal place. So we're looking at 2.8 meters. Okay, the graph, we're going to graph that thing. So we're going to say new graph. Now it's already telling me for 24 hours, so I'm going to change my window, and I'm going to say we're going to go from -1 to 26, so I can see it properly. 26. I'm going from -1, so I can see the x-axis, and I'm going to go out to 5 because I know it goes out to 3.2, whatever it was. So that's what we've got there. And now here I am going to graph h of x. That's what we've got there. So that's what I'll be doing. Now it wants me to graph it. Sketch a graph, label endpoints and any actual intercepts with coordinate points. So I've only got one actual intercept, which is there. We've got an endpoint there. That's also an endpoint. So menu, analyze graph, minimum. This I know happens at 0 and 2. This other one, analyze graph, minimum, happens at 24 and something, 24 and 2. If I was getting something with decimals, I'd be then looking and substituting in. I'd be saying h of 0 and h of 24 to find out what those two will be. All right. When after midnight to the nearest minute does the tide first reach 2.5 meters? So we want to see where it reaches 2.5 meters. So now if we'll go through this a couple of ways. Solve h of x equals 2.5 for x. Closing that, it gives us lots of different ones. This is the first one, 1.09. So it happens at 1.09. We can check that as well by saying we're going to draw a graph at 2.5. So 2.5, and we'll say menu, analyze graph, look for intersection between there and there at 1.9, 2.5, so 1.09. Let's have a look at what we're told. 1.09. So looking at a question, when after midnight to the nearest minute does it first reach 2.5 hours? So like it's saying when after minute. It's not saying after how many hours, it's saying when. So what we have to do with that one is to convert this 1.09 to hours, minutes, seconds. So what we do is we take this, so we know it happens at 1 hour afterwards. So what we do is we look at this value here. I'm going to copy that. Now it's a 0 and 0 point that, and I'm going to multiply that by 60, because now this will convert it to how many minutes after 1 a.m. So it happens after 5 minutes. Now I'm going to take this part here, and I'm going to multiply that by 60 as well to turn into seconds. So it happens at 1 a.m., 1:05, and 39.876 seconds. So that's where we go through that one, because it's asking when. It's not asking for how many hours. If it asks for how many hours after midnight, 1.09 will be enough. But it's not. It's asking for when it happens. So we're taking this value. We know it's happening at 1 a.m. because it's 1 hour. We're going to convert this to minutes by multiplying by 60. So it happens at 5 minutes, 0.66. So then we take that 0.6646, multiply that by 60, turn into seconds, and it'll be 39 seconds. So at 1:05 and 39.876 seconds AM. Okay, next question. Find the times to the nearest minute the corresponding to next low tides after final times to the nearest. So we're going to go through the same thing. When are the next low tides? Okay, so here is our low tide corresponding to the next 2 low tides after midnight. Okay, so now this is the problem. Now we've got this thing happening here. So what we'll do is we'll say menu, analyze minimum. We'll have of that one. We've got a low tide there happening at 12 hours. So we've got a minimum there happening at 12 hours. So we want to know what the height is. Find the times corresponding to the next 2 low tides after midnight. So we've got one at 12 p.m. So we've got midnight, and we've got one happening there at 12 p.m. And I'd say we probably have another one for a little bit longer. So what we'll do is we will extend our domain. Just define this to make it a little bit longer. I'm going to go for 2 days. We want to know the next 2 low tides, 48. I'm going to go to the graph. And I'm going to find when the next low tide is. So I'm going to say menu, analyze graph, minimum, checking for that and that. And it happens at 28 hours. So that will be 1 day plus 4 hours. So it makes 4 a.m. the next day. So the corresponding next 2 low tides after midnight. So one's going to happen at 12 p.m. on the 1st of April. Next one will happen at 4 a.m. on the 2nd of April. Boats can only leave the harbour when the water depth is greater than 3 meters. Find the times to the nearest minute in this 24-hour period when the fishing boats can leave the harbour. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll redefine this back to 24 hours. Back to our graph, we want to find out where it's 3 meters. So menu 3. Let's go analyze graph, intersection. And that one. 2.51. Menu, analyze graph, intersection. 5.49. Analyze graph, intersection. 18, so we're adding 16 hours to it, so that's our period. Okay, so boats can only leave, find times to the nearest minute, use 24-hour period when the two boats can leave the harbour. Okay. Okay, so they can leave the harbour between here and here, and then also between here and here. So that means it's between 2.51. So we'll take our 2.51. So we'll take our so we know it's 2.51. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that, and we're going to multiply 5.51 by 60 to convert it to minutes. So 30.6. So that tells us that at so is it 2.51? Yeah, so at 2.51, so that means at 231, because it's going to the nearest, so it happens at 231. And then we've got the other one here of 5.49, so we'll say 5.49. So we got that there, 5.49. Because we're not after, because we know we're already at 5 hours, so I'll take that 0.49. You can, but I'm doing some video recordings.
Okay.
Miss
Then you
Pie.
can say no.
You're welcome to. Miss Pie just walked in. She's asking if she can work here as well.
Sorry, if you're recording, I'll leave you to it, so you don't have to feel weird about it.
I won't feel weird if you don't feel weird.
I don't feel weird. I'm not going to listen to you.
That's fine by me.
All right. Don't want to clean my desk.
I understand. So we've got this here at 0.49, which translates to 29.4 minutes. That we could say is 29 minutes. And now because it happens at 5, so we'll say this happens at 5:29. So they can exit the harbour between 2:31 a.m. and 5:29 a.m. Then again, 16 hours later, because that's our period. So that'll end up being at 18:31 or at 6:31 p.m. and sorry, this should be an N, should be between 5:29, then again 16 hours later. 16 hours makes that 9:29 p.m. 9:29 p.m. So that's when they can leave the harbour, between those two times. So they can leave the harbour between 2:31 a.m. and 5:29 a.m. Then again between 6:31 and 9:29 p.m. And that's it for that question.